Hi, thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope everyone is doing really well. In my last video, I talked about sugar, and today I'm going to be talking about something called the glycemic index, which has to do with sugar and carbohydrates. The glycemic index, or GI for short, is a measurement of the effect of 50 grams of carbohydrates from a specific food or foods on the human body. Carbohydrates that are digested quickly and their sugars are released quicker have a higher GI. Carbohydrates that have a higher GI have a quicker insulin response and can affect long-term blood sugar control levels, increase triglycerides, and decrease HDL levels. So the GI uses a scale of 0 to 100. Pure glucose can be used as a reference point and has a GI of 100. A low GI is between 0 and 55, a moderate GI is between 56 and 69, and a high GI is 69 to 100. Just because a food has a high GI does not make it an unhealthy food. The problem is we don't eat 50 grams of carbohydrates at a time. That's where something called the glycemic load plays a part. The glycemic load, or GL for short, takes into consideration the serving size and the exact amount of carbohydrates when we consume it. So the glycemic index is purely 50 grams, and the glycemic load takes into consideration the actual amount that we probably eat. To find the GL, all you need is some very basic math skills, and what you do is you multiply the GI by the total number of grams in the serving and then divide it by 100. It's important to remember that the total amount of carbohydrates in a food is just as important as the GI in determining the impact on blood sugar levels. The GI and the GL are tools that are used purely for seeing how carbohydrates affect the body. They are not designed to determine a food's nutritional value. You cannot rely solely on these tools as a way of determining whether a food is healthy or not. For example, there are foods that have little to no carbohydrates and therefore have a low GI and a trivial GL, but that doesn't mean it's a healthy food. Some example of foods like that are candy, cupcakes, and ice cream, but they only have a low GI because of their large fat content. Just because they have a low GI and not a big GL either, it doesn't mean that they're a health food. The opposite also can be true. A lot of foods like fruit are high in carbohydrates, so they're going to fall higher on the GI scale. But that doesn't mean you should avoid them because they're actually very nutritious and beneficial. So you can see where while these tools are really great, in some aspects, they're not perfect. So you have to always take into consideration and knowledge of what's healthy and what's not, and a basic understanding of sugar and processed sugar. The proper way to use these tools is to compare foods within the same category. Rather than comparing a strawberry to fish, you should compare strawberries to bananas because they fall within the same category. Another really great use of this is finding foods that are high in carbohydrates for high intensity athletes and who do a lot of activities because you need that energy from carbohydrates. So there are some really good uses for the glycemic index and the glycemic load. It's just you need to understand what their purpose is and how to use them. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you learned something. If you did, please give this video a like. For more informational videos about nutrition and health and diets and eating disorders, please subscribe to this channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!